Интерза. Хорошо, 3-3 ситуация. Можно попробовать что-нибудь еще. Там Симпл закрывает. Бит еще Акселя убивает. Да ладно, неужели просто пистолеты сейчас будут выиграны команды Нави? Хоббит. Последний убитый Маг 10. Хоббит закрывает биты Симпл. Симпл с пистолетиком просто пытается с П-250 закидывать. Там Хоббиту 27 хп. О, как это получается вообще, Хоббит против Саши? Максимум, что тут может только продемонстрировать Саша, но Хоббит даже ничего не повел взглядом, даже не моргнул, ты посмотри. Просто квадркилл и просто раунд для команды Гамбит.
Не-не-не, тут у Хоббита сердечко добилось, как будто он сейчас Оскар получил, потому что вот по этому выдоху он, мне кажется, в воздухе держал до последнего в легких, хотел квадркилл. Максимально сумасшедший раунд в плане увиденного, поскольку экономически для команды Нави 1-2 остается Хоббит, и у Саши есть отличные шансы. Попал по Хоббиту, оставил 27 хп, но вот потом не пошли совершенно выстрелы у Александра Костылева. И команда Гамбит вновь впереди. Всего лишь на один раунд, но впереди. И вот смотри, какой момент. Если сейчас команда Гамбит закрывает себе 14, то на 15. Это вот ручка и Маша, добрый вечер.
Так, Хоббит. Ничего себе, ему присылает тут 31 хп. Хаешечка еще, но не туда. Во всяком случае, не по Хоббиту, а Электроник закрывает своего оппонента. И 5-4 раздобыл преимущество в этом раунде для рожденных побеждать. Гранат. Нет гранаты, нет диффуз китов. Вот это нужно помнить. Выбивания здесь как такового быть не может. Нави нужно выигрывать раунд, не доводя это все дело до установленной бомбы.
Нет, но выбивание-то может. Главное оценивать свои силы. В каком количестве останутся Нави против Гамбита, какие будут позиции для этого ретейка. Может быть, там подбиты, для этого будет информация. Короче, вариантов много. Но пока в преимуществе Нави действительно по стрельбе получилось забрать Хоббита. Одни попали, потом вторые попали. И даже вот мы видим статистику 24 на 13. Прошу прощения. Даже, насколько я помню, топов фрагстат, а тут у нас идея интересная для Симпла, но погибает от нафани Интерза и Симпл, и Электроник, оставляя лишь одного игрока где-то хотя бы в районе аплента, и это сейф. Это сейф, никаких вариантов для команды Нави нет, как уже говорил Саша, дефуз китов не присутствует, две флешки, двое игроков под 2 ЗП, пока добегут, там уже полдня пройдет.
Да, надо сейвить, определенно. Определенно, точно. И команда Гамбит, друзья, будет выходить на 14-й раунд для себя. Буквально в 2 раундах разницы от победы на Дасте втором. Ну и это большая история для Гамбит. После, опять же, вроде хорошего начала казалось, что Нави уже перехватили темп, но не тут-то было. Гамбиты немножко успокоились, взяли паузу, выдохнули и сейчас готовы дальше продолжать все это замечательное дело разыгрывать. 14-12. У команды Нави с деньгами относительные проблемы. 2-3 тысячи в среднем. Ну и вопрос, конечно, наверное, в этом 27-м самом одном из важнейших раундов ключевом для команды Нави.
Покупать или не покупать? Вот
покупать точно. Не-не-не, 100% надо покупать. Кстати, тайм-аут первый.
Но это вот для тебя очевидно, что покупать ребята могут отдать 15-й.
Да не. Хотя, с другой стороны...
Ну, смотри, у них есть 3 девайса.
Дека, да, и
под диглы.
Ну,
Авика не будет в этом раунде у команды Нави, хоть ты крейс.
Может быть, да, действительно, они здесь ставят по 2000, там дадут, грубо говоря, армор плюс дигл.
Закупаться довольно печальная история, потому что если выбивают из них девайсы, будет, например, какой-то клатч 2 в 2 не проигрывают, у них там тоже 3000, и ты уже ничего себе не сможешь купить. Кроме как фармилки, фамас, и, как ты понимаешь, это тоже не самая сильная боевая мощь. Вот такие фамасы, да, ты оказался прав, закупили себе гранаты, флеш-китов, сразу 3 набора, а почему бы нет? Но рискованный момент для команды Нави, но отдавать люди 15 они не готовы.
Ну, не хочется, конечно. С другой стороны, там по $1000 остается, по 500 у ребят из Нави, чисто теоретически плюс-минус. Не то чтобы хороший, но хотя бы относительно какой-то бай будет в следующем раунде в случае проигранного этого. Ну ладно, давайте об этом не думать, друзья. 27-й раунд прямо здесь и прямо сейчас. Перфект. У нас, ребята, 3 игрока с фамасами, 1 с МПшкой и только бит с Эмкой. И посмотрим, как эта история получится здесь для рожденных побеждать. Смогут ли они оказаться сильнее в рамках этого раунда.
Вот Хоббит очень сильно грызся за шорт, вынужден был отдать, потому что прилетали смоки и Должны были там вообще Абай забирать, если бы он не уходил. Бит, неплохие два фрага дают Полу на фане и Акселю. Пока что выхода на базу Б нет, бомба выпала, нужно будет в любом случае идти на базу Б. Есть в хелпе Илюха, и с ним можно придумать... А, это Симпл даже, прошу прощения, это Саш. Подождите, теперь... А кто фраг-то делал?
Симпл.
Да, почему-то был перфект, я поэтому и ошибся немножко. Вроде перфект обычно стоит на базе Б, но и аватарка вроде его никнейм, а там Саш фраг делает.
Что, может, допчик тогда, вот, глянь? Что думаешь?
Я не против. Саша, я не против, но нужно у команд спрашивать.
А чатик против или не против? Друзья, плюс в чат за допы, минус за недопы. А тайм-аут у команды Нави очередной. Ребята не брали всю игру и решили вот под концовочку, так сказать, оставить под самое важное. В прошлом раунде пауза, в этом раунде пауза. Ну, сейчас хотя бы история получится. Показывают нам игроков, электроник. Опять же, сидит и слушает, по всей видимости, когда ребята обсуждают сейчас следующий раунд. Потому что, опять же, раунды очень важные, очень здоровские. Нужно отыгрывать именно в конце. Сейчас вы представляете, друзья, как много стоит на кону. Бит говорит. Бит накидывает.
Нормально, вполне себе. 14-13. Денег хватает на то, чтобы гамбиты закупились. Деньги последние. Максимум $950 остается у Акселя. Видимо, один галил. Раскидка тоже присутствует. Хорошая, плотненькая. Есть молики, смоки, флешки. Все имеется в арсенале. Даже одна хаешка есть на фане, чтобы кого-то попробовать поддамажить из игроков команды Нави. Я думаю, что будет сейчас максимально slow раунд. Попытка вычисления игры от фрага для команды Гамбит. Ну а как мы видим, Нави у нас уже реализует буст на центр. Оставляет здесь Валеру, который не исполняет роль опорника базы Б. И больше фокус все-таки оставляет под план А. Команда Нави отыгрывает там втроем, ну и плюс на КТ еще есть один игрок. Опять же, Хоббит неплохо отъедает шорт для своей команды. И разделение пока ровно 0.
Ну что ж, друзья, Симпл со снайперской винтовкой. Минута времени. Стоит на просмотре шарта на лонге. Бумыч здесь рядом. Готов помочь. На густе. Рядом с ним. Электроник на лонге. Все готово у команды Нави к приемке А-планта. А вот вопрос, готовы ли к приемке Б-планта. На Б-планте остается лишь один игрок. И перфекта как раз будет пытаться, если, опять же, выход будет на Б, закрывать здесь Бит. Хорошо находит здесь Аксель, он уже в плюс вышел, друзья. 18-15, перфекта. Закрывает еще Интер за 5-3 ситуация. Там денег-то у команды Гамбит нет. Перфекта просто спрятался в смоке. Врывается здесь наверх, еще и закрывает на фане. Широ с Хоббитом, правда, на размене. Подождите, ситуация становится не такой уж и простой. Хоббит не торопится наверх входить. Хоббит ждет и здесь находит электроника. Ситуация была вроде как идеальна, но там времени мало. Времени мало, Широ закрывают. Хоббит последний, у него еще и патроны заканчиваются. Симпл ставит точку в этом раунде, друзья, и до 14-14. Что за жесть?
Nice try, можно сказать, ребятам из команды Гамбит. У нас сейчас будет фулл экономический для краснозвездных. Будут оставлять деньги, там Абай уже впитывает всю влагу, которая есть на буткемпе. Потому что действительно после таких раундов, когда ты ведешь по счету, а потом отдаешь опять же комплект для команды Нави. И сейчас, вероятно, противник будет забирать 15, если не случится какого-то кризисного момента, что спалит пару хедшотов. Для этого есть 2 дигла и 1 флешка. Ну а Симпл не пропускает на фане. Это был Глок, такой разведочный парень, который пробежался. Но там очень быстро решили команда Гамбит выходить. Минус от Шира. Есть фраг по Симплу. Пока что не подобрать. Там еще и может быть больно очень сильно помочь. Нет, он забирает Шира. Электроник также на прикрытии. Погибает Аксель. Остается только один боец. Это Интер с 12 хп. И это до свидания. 15-й и первый маппоинт для команды Нави. Будет он реализован.
Ну что, друзья, давайте сделаем допы. Не знаю, хочется посмотреть на овертайм. Это должно уходить именно в таком русле.
Это Эль Классико.
Это да, это действительно СНГ дерби. По-другому не сказать. Если переводить на, не знаю, тон какого-нибудь футбольного матча, можно сравнить это...
Это не футбол, это футболище.
Да. Так и есть, друзья. Поэтому давайте смотреть. 30-й раунд, очень важный. Бумыч здесь летит, врывается также на фане. Здесь ножом все в флешках, а Симпл А что Симпл? А Симпл просто берет авик прострелом в голову Акселю, ставит хедшот и врывает свою команду в преимущество. Выводит 5-4, большинство для команды Нави.
Ну, вот такой тонкий лед сейчас под ногами команды Гамбит. Мало гранат, потеря одного из игроков. Это погибший Аксель и попытка выйти на центр карты, где Пилюк перфекто будет встречать. Также есть на ХЛП бит со снайперской винтовкой. Им будет не сладко, но если сейчас справятся ребята, это победный 16-й. Бит не горит. Тиммейт его сейчас может наделать фрагов. На фане уже в пленте, но погибает Интерс, погибает на фане. Остается Хоббит, очень битый. На Дигл переключается перфекто, погибает. Есть минусы, и это победа команды Нави. На этой карте как же долго камбэчили игроки команды Нави. С счета 1-7 они вернулись, наполовину вышли вперед, и все было хорошо. Потом снова дали инициативу для команды Гамбит, но вновь Нави оказались сильнее.
Да, друзья, матч, конечно, жесть. И первая карта просто невероятная. В общем-то, на самом деле остается просто в невероятном образе ждать и смотреть, что будет на второй карте. И на самом деле действительно хочется этого всего дождаться. Мы с Олежкой, разумеется, все это дело прокомментируем на второй, а пока студия аналитики для вас поработает и обсудит первую карту.
Да, спасибо, друзья. Это действительно был огненный матч на карте DDoS 2 и камбэк от Нави, и филигранная игра от Хоббита, камбэки, перевороты. Здесь было абсолютно все, но коллектив Нави оказался сильнее на своем пике, а от этого мы сейчас будем отталкиваться, друзья. Первая половина довольно близкая, 7-8. 7 раундов в атаке забрали Нави, хотя вроде парни больше любят играть именно в атаку, но не добрали, как мне кажется, определенное количество раундов, чтобы чувствовать себя комфортно на защите. И вот пошел переворот уже на протяжении второй половины, хотя я думаю, мало кто этого ждал.
Про Нави надо сказать на первой половине, вот начало от команды Нави. Можно много эпитетов подбирать, типа, я не могу сказать, что они недооценивали там оппонента. Это вот, знаешь, разнузданность. Вот это вот от Нави, вот так вот они начинают эту карту, и мы видим счет от команды Гамбит. Я уже думаю, как это возвращаться Нави, если уже там 8-2, да, по-моему, было бы сложно. Но нет, так-то возвращаться они такие, ага, окей, типа тут вот так не получится, надо нормально, собраться по-человечески делать. Дальше по-человечески со второй половины, первой половины, и делают до конца вообще-то всей карты, но на самом деле так получилось. Бит что-то очень хорош, в смысле он прям что-то очень хорош, Симпл-то ладно, все понятно, от него он там практически даже раунд с пистолетом на Б закрыл, то есть то, что Хоббит там, например, Симпла убил, ну, убил-то убил, ладно, но там были моменты, когда Симпл был прям максимально близок к тому, чтобы Хоббит раунд.
Kind of. Oh, no, we know. Een beetje zo.
There are only a few seconds to close this round and headshot. Nice. Fist bumps go to the teammates. Very much. They play Fury.
Hello, and welcome back. We just saw an incredible game where Na'Vi were only just able to topple Gambit 16-14. What on earth that game was, I do not know. And what on earth that means for our next map of Train, I can only believe, as this is going to be a hell of a series. If you saw map 1, you know the tempo with you. If you're just tuning in, then trust me, you want to stay. I'm Newcastle Crabber 3. I'm joined by the wonderful M&J. Josh, how do you feel about this?
I don't know how I feel. I'll be honest, Kramer, after what we saw in map 1, I don't know what to feel. My heart was racing at the end of that one. We went... I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like, normally you see a 16-14, it shows a contentious game. It shows that it's gone back and forth. At the very start, Gambit came out the gates hot. They were winning every single round. They were winning every single game duel. They were looking incredible. Then it started to slip away. Gambit, they started to lose that momentum. Na'Vi pulled it back to an 8-7 half. We saw it get fairly contentious. We went into the second. That's when we started going back and forth. And at the end, we saw the parry match odds at 14-12. Yeah. They heavily favoured Gambit to win it. It all fell down to one buy round where Na'Vi didn't have a huge amount in the tank. We saw a couple of rifles come out. It wasn't great. Had they have lost it, it would have been game over. They took it over the top, and that was the catalyst to push them into the victory. It went 16-14, and they are going to be incredibly happy with it. Going into this second map pick, of course it's Gambit's pick, but with both of these teams being pretty comfortable with the first two maps in this pool, I don't think they're going to be too fake. Train's a map that they don't play all too often, but they've played it 4 times in the last 3 months. They've got 3 wins on it. Those wins have been against some pretty formidable opponents as well, one of which including Gambit. Of course, only a week ago, they faced up against Gambit on this very map. They won it 16-10, so if there's any time for some confidence, if there's any time to kind of fall back on those statistics and say, do you know what, I think we might have this one, it's definitely now. And I think that Na'Vi, after winning that map pick, they're going to be feeling confident.
You're getting carried away.
Maybe. 16-12, was that?
12,
okay.
Yeah. It's alright.
Hanging on.
But of course, the point still stands.
Yeah.
Na'Vi, they're confident when it comes to Train. Actually, historically, they've played against each other on Train twice.
Okay.
1 win, 1 loss through the side. So, whether or not Gambit are able to kind of repeat history, we'll have to see. I think that the last time we saw Train was relatively convincing for Na'Vi. I think that Simple is the make or break for Na'Vi because of course how ball-oriented Train is. For Simple, he didn't really show up on us two. It was actually Boomich that was delivering consistently there, as well as Electronic. They were both the players to watch out for. Simple, don't get me wrong, still doing well. He's kind of kept up with everyone, but he didn't give us that starstruck performance that we kind of expected. So, he's been able to show up on Train. I think Gambit actually take it.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at any kind of match and you sort of say, especially on Train, you look at who's at the top, you go, oh yeah, he's talking on Train. I think that seems to be that decisive factor. You're an Orca, you're on Train, you're playing towards Ivy, you're playing towards that A-bomb site. You can put up the big numbers. Now, without further ado, folks, we're going to be jumping into map number 2, so let's get underway with this one. Of course, round number 1, Gambit are on their T side, and this is where it starts to get a little touch and go. Train, statistically the most CT-sided map in the pool at the moment. For Na'Vi, it's a confident map, and they get to start off on their defense. That's a pretty scary prospect. Gambit, they need to put their foot in the door early, and if they can't, then I'm certainly worried for them. Perfecto, here's the steps, deploys the smoke, and Simple, just before it blooms, can peek his way in and hit the head.
Inter's instantly trading though means that Simple is trapped between 2 members, but with Inter's falling as he tries to run away, it means that Gambit got a man down. Of course, because they were trying to flee in the process, means no damage has been inflicted back onto Na'Vi, and we spoke about how Simple had to show up. 2 quick kills means he may have done just that. We see Shiro, the man to lead this advancement, over on Ivy, and as the smokes go out, the volley onto the other side means that they're going to establish control, but keeping control is where they struggle. Of course, Perfecto, having read it, already back on CT stairs, good for Shiro, forces them elsewhere with Napoli ready onto pit. Dig down under Perfecto, the man with the kit has to be careful. The Simple still set slightly as a plant, certainly isn't guaranteed yet. Gambit, still with a minute to toy with, very aware of that. They go for a boost actually of Rax, so they seize out Perfecto, but with neither player being able to kill one another, eventually they commit to this push. But crossing on second doors allows Perfecto for the first, Simple for the second, the to and fro gives Na'Vi their first in Gambit. Shaky by ahead.
Absolutely, yeah. Perfecto being so out of position there, he absolutely had to be careful. If he loses that kit on the site, it's no problem. Loses it in CT spawn, that's an issue. But he hits the headshots and he prevails. 1.85 to 1.9 is what our partners over at Paramatch are thinking these odds are after we get into round number 2. And to be honest, that's fair enough. If you fancy either one of these teams' chances of pulling this one off, then maybe now's the time to place the bets. The odds are looking pretty tasty either way. Head over to our partners over at Paramount to do so, though. Click that banner down below, get the first time deposit bonus. Look at this, a hefty investment going into this second. Na'Vi, an MP9, 3 for Masses, an M4 on Simple, and for Gambit with no bomb plant in the last, all they have to work with are those pistols.
These pistols. Hoping to take out some of these members as they do so. It's just a matter of playing the waiting game. The volley down from Electronic should deter too ambitious an attack, and while it does just that, Simple with the M4, he can play the ranged game, and as he does that, there's no follow-up at the moment as Simple shuts down Axel. Trade there by Electronic, nice little kill for him. After to follow through, however, Electronic's there to assist. And with 2 players left standing, a bomb plant's out of the question. And for Na'Vi, there should be a quick clean-up unless Hobbit can go huge. But while it's messy, Electronic turning 180 finishes the job. A 3k for him, a second for Na'Vi, for Gambit, and Eco ahead.
What a great start here for Na'Vi and a great way to kick things off on their defense. 2-0. It's looking like it should be made. It's all about damage control here in this third. If they can have a clean one, if they can get some kills on Boomich with that MP9, then there's definitely a chance that they can bolster themselves, bolster that economy as well. If they can't, then Gambit could be in for a bomb plant, could be in for a little bit of extra cash. 3 nades to work with. It's certainly going to go for a bit of a stack with them. But early on, they can't do anything. The nades rain over the top. They fall far over Electronic's head. Doesn't do any damage to him. And in return, he does a fair amount onto Axel and Nathany.
Hobbit, the first to fall as Boomich tries to farm some cash, and what a way to do so. Nathany deletes it from that angle there, and because of that, Gambit's with a really strong, shaken position as Boomich, he seems to have this nasty tenacity to find some heads, and with Simple on the flank, he's going to play the trigger discipline. Inters needs to be careful now, as does Axel, and for Simple, he's played it to a masterful degree. He drops his pistols, almost fake his opponent there before executing them, and eventually Shiro does finish the job. That means he can go retrieve that M4 as he tries to run. Perfecto's there to kill him. Na'Vi with 3 and Simple having a bit of fun while he can.
Yeah, that is pure BM there from Simple. To be behind and to drop his pistol, bait his opponents to turn around. He doesn't want to be a man that takes the kill and shoots the opponent in the back of the head. He wants to drop his pistol, he wants his opponent to turn around, and, well, it seems that everyone's spamming for a kiss cam. That's a lot. That's 21,000 people asking for a kiss cam. Do we have to do it? Maybe. We'll see. Alright, that seems like enough for me. Round number 4, Na'Vi, 3-0, and my goodness, Gambit, they are in a bit of a tricky situation. Everyone does too, remember, we saw Gambit get off to an incredible start, and that still didn't merit them the win, so I wouldn't get too carried away just yet, but Na'Vi, they're looking strong here at the start of this one. Rifles in hand, and if they can take this round, it puts them in a very powerful position indeed. And a minute left on this clock. Very, very little presence shown here from Gambit, and that's unfortunate. Perfecto gets a little bit CSGO'd there. The smoke doesn't extinguish the molly.
That's soul crushing for him, but he's left with 20 HP. Hobbit, he sees the aggression in top though. Boomich goes for 1. Boomich doubles down though. And with Inters trading, we see Perfecto switch out for the ult so we can play the range game. And with Bit on the wide angle on Ivy, that means that, well, there's the kill to Axel. He just swings straight out and just deletes his opponent. Inters left in a 1v4, cowers in Sandwich, and as he rotates from the other side of red, will he be able to spot out Simple? Yes, he does. There's 1. There's 2 onto Bits, and now he's starting to do some damage, but Perfecto shuts him down before things get out of hand. Josh Na'Vi, they're able to reinvest, and while they have been taking damage, at least they've been able to hold. As Gambit, they move to their next investment, which should just be a buy down to 2k.
Well, at the end of the day, it's good economic damage there from Inters in a position where he doesn't really have too much else to do. He's had quite the impact. However, going into round number 5, it's 4-0. They're down to these pistols. There's not too much behind the pistols either. Last second, we see a little bit of Kevlar pulled out, but that's about it. This should be 5 for Na'Vi. That's rather worrying. As they fall away, Na'Vi don't want to take any major chances right now. They have got to be feeling good after that Dust 2 win. With a minute 30 on this clock, a fair bit of time expended, no real damage dealt. Instead, it's gone onto the other way. Gambit, eat that nade in Ivy. Na'Vi are playing this very well, not taking any major chances.
Gambit again. They don't want to take a fight. They want to drain some Na'Vi to the beat. And they do so by just playing a bit slow. They don't want to commit anywhere yet. And they want to just wait to see what Na'Vi do in the defense. Gambit, with a couple of deagles here or there, are making sure that Na'Vi are kept at arm's length. And being able to do that means that for Gambit, it's going to have to be a push on Ivy to try and topple Na'Vi. The volley's there, and Na'Vi, they seem to have a really good read on this. With 40 seconds left, Gambit as well. They need to get out of the site, clear every corner of the site, and plant. Now with about 35 seconds left, this is really running down the clock, and as Bit finds every single member, joined with Perfecto, they execute them, and that should be the round, as both Hobbit and Napoli fall, and just like that, Na'Vi, they go 5-0 up in a really clean fashion, and look what it's done to their economy.
It has shot it to the moon. Every single man here sitting on sort of $6,000-7,000, and they don't have to reinvest all too much either, so we'll see that money carry across into the further rounds. For Gambit, it's a full investment, but the same luxury can't be said for them. Every single man right now besides Shiro sitting below that $1,000 mark, and to be honest, he's not far above it either. We go into round number 6. Gambit, they've got off to a really rocky start. Their T-side of train statistically isn't their better side, and it's really showing through. Boomich, nice bit of aggression there towards Pop Dog. Catches out Napoli early. The nades come through, but they're far too late. Boomich is nowhere to be seen any longer. He didn't take any damage from the engagement, and he won't take any damage from the fallback either. So a clean man advantage. And there's no trade potential. Boomich even aggressing further into this A main position.
Gambit with a limited group of players, limited group of control as well. They've got a main, but that's it. They could fight for Ivy, but Perfecto still shooting up with their shoulder. And as Boomich spots enters, it's a missed shot, which does play to their detriment. And with that, Boomich left in a fairly scary spot. Na'Vi with all this control. Once the golden point for the trade is 45 seconds. You can deploy, if you can keep your opponents out of the sight with 45 seconds left, then you can really run down the clock. With that kill from Boomich, Gambit are really running out of options now. They need to find something to work, they need it quickly, otherwise this is going to go straight to a save. But with Electronics forwarded position, it will just be a save. Shiro, if he loses this orb, we're not going to see that again. But Electronic doesn't clear his angle. He shifts past Shiro, and now the Inters, who's in T-spawn, is actually going to spot out Electronic. That's just heartbreaking. However, now we do see Gambit saving, so that also works for them.
I mean, at this point, they've got so much money. Whilst they would have loved to have been able to take that off out of Shiro's hand, they'll be happy with the round itself. And do you know what, Kramer? 24,000 viewers?
24,000 viewers. We're watching rank 1 in the world versus rank 2, and the only thing that's being said in the chat is just Cam.
I think we're going to have to do it, you know. I think if Na'Vi win, I think we might have to do it. Yeah, next camera segment. I'm thinking if Na'Vi win train, I'll do it. Alright. No, it's fine. You might get your wish, chat.
Alright. I cannot wait to see what they say once that catches up on the delay. Garrett take his time out. You know, I know we're not meant to show bias, but do we now root for Garrett? Is that how it works? Or do we root for Na'Vi?
No, we don't root for either team. We let it flow. However it goes,
However it goes.
Let the gods decide.
God wills it. Yeah. Fair enough. Well, in a minute, that's going to be a lot of rainbows.
Round number 7, a big one for Gambit. If they can take it, then they might be able to close this gap and take a little bit of control. The issue is that Na'Vi not only have got so much money behind them, they've got momentum, they've got that confidence. And even if they lose it, as I say, there's still cash behind them. They can go for a full investment in the next two. Simple, he's been hot with this ult right now, and Boomich has been even better. Playing this aggressive position towards E-Box, and then he can bounce between Popdog and May. It's oh so powerful, but this time Gambit win the opening duel. Shiro and Axel take the advantages, and now Na'Vi looking a little bit shaken.
Two players down, they desperately need something to work out for them. Gambit, aggression in main, Boomich, there's the kill, there's the bomb falling out as well. But Naphany, he's just able to trade onto Boomich. If he'd fallen there, that would have been the round for Gambit. 3-on-3 would have just been straight rotation. But Electronic and Hobbit dance around each other, and Electronic's actually able to get up ramp just as Hobbit clears the angle. Do they expect Electronic? Did Hobbit see him? I think from the positioning in Napoli they did. No, they didn't. Axel falls, there's the bomb. Electronic deploying that volley now, and with members just dancing around one another, he seems acutely aware that Hobbit will be there, but Hobbit winning the Angel leaves it all on Perfecto in a 1v3. But look at his positioning. He's all the way back in. He's all the way back in A main, and the chat's caught up.
Yeah, they won it.
That's a lot, again, a lot of rainbows.
That's a lot of rainbows. Well, it looks like it's finally going to be the first round on the board for Gambit, and you Kiss Cam fans, I'm not sure if that favours you at all.
Yeah.
Perfecto, he'll save here, no real doubt about that one, wants to hold on to that AK-47, despite the fact they've got loads of money behind them. There's absolutely no point in throwing this weapon away. Either way, it'll peek into Shiro and lose his life. First on the board for Gambit, 6-1, but Na'Vi, they're putting out quite the early performance here on trade, and I'm quite impressed with it.
Likewise, Gambit, who now actually have a bit of economy behind them as well, because of that bomb plant. And for Gambit, this is where they can at least build a lead. Na'Vi, they've taken a few casualties in the last couple of rounds, means that their economy, it's not broken yet, but it's showing cracks, especially with Electronic hitting that 1k mark. Recoverable, and Gambit taking a timeout. I really like this timeout actually, because they want to see what Na'Vi do next, and it means that they can at least weigh up the options. The hole wasn't really found in the Na'Vi defense though. They opened that round with a quick pick, and they just danced around one another and had to take fights kind of from hybrid angles. I don't really know what the repeatability is in that.
Well, there's still money behind Na'Vi here. Simple on that AWP. Everybody else with the rifles. There's no double up set up in this one. A lot of util behind them though, as they get nice and aggressive, close to these angles as they have done previously. It's worked wonders for them. Boomich, the man that's been getting up close and personal here to this attack. He's had so much mileage, and there we go. Inkus just bombarded with grenades. There's nothing he can do before he spots out a single enemy. He's taken down with the airstrike. Boomich following up with one into Popdog as well, and just like that, we see a two-man advantage. This is going to be 7-1 for Na'Vi. And there might be a bit of money behind Gambit, especially with this loss bonus. But I don't see much more behind this. Minute left on this clock. And Na'Vi looking very, very strong.
Gambit having really been dismantled there, as the aggression from Axel peeking into Ivy. Perfecto caught out, but Bits instantly there to respond, means that for Shiro and Hobbit, they may just have to save. As we spoke about the cracks in Na'Vi's economy, look at the chasm in Gambit's, where next round, because that round win means they can just get a buy, but absolutely only just, and they'll be going down to 0 next anyway, so they need these rifles to be saved where they can. With 30 seconds left, let's be honest, they're not going to get to a site in a 2v4, especially with Boomich killing Hobbit like that. Shiro with the AWP, he loses this, he ain't getting it back. He realises this, and because of that, he just hovers above top pop. He looks to hide, and understandably so. We don't see much of a hunt from Na'Vi with the last 10 seconds remaining. Once Boomich actually sees Shiro with this, mate, we spur it on. Nothing yet.
Well, for Shiro, The save is on the cards, of course. He really wants to make sure he doesn't fall here, and no one's hunting too hard for him. I quite like this from Na'Vi. They had a huge economy. After losing that round, they say, do you know what? We've only got sort of $4,000 or $5,000 in the bank. We definitely don't want to make. We definitely don't want to lose these weapons, so we're just going to hold on to them. 7-1. Gambit, they've got enough cash to invest around this saved sniper, but they haven't had much success. Regardless of what weapons they've had in hand, Na'Vi's defense has just been rock solid. And now as we go into round number 9, Na'Vi looks to extend this lead further. AWP on Simple's back, Electronic, Perfecto and Boomich with premium rifles, lots of util behind them. They're going to stack up. Gambit looks like they're going to go for a B execution. Only Electronic to hold. He's already called for the rotation. Reinforcement from Simple.
Electronic's putting out the initial member. Boys, that Molly spams out the first doubles up as well with a kill there. And now, what do the last 3 members do over on Gambit? Na'Vi with a flank from Boomich. Into T-spawn means that any rotating member will be spotted out. Axel, though, ready for it. That kill makes things that bit more credible for them. It gives them a chance to head back away. And with Hobbit and Pop Dog, there's an opening for them to exploit. That being said, though, with Simple on the back line holding Ivy, it means that Bits can go to Olaf. There's a closer angle in heaven held by Perfecto, so this definitely won't be an easy take, but there's a chance for one. And as Hobbit gets ready to lead this charge with only 1 kill, definitely not able to repeat the same success he had on Dust 2. Be prepared for the attack. There's the peak, there's the swing, Axel to lead it. 40 seconds left means they need to get to this site quickly. There's the utils deployed. Oh, they're going to be acutely aware of what's up. The AUG from Bit is good enough for 1. Can he double down onto Shiro now? The Orc tries to point blank him. No, he can't. Bit chimes in. Simple onto Hobbit with lightning quick reactions. Gives Na'Vi an 8-1 lead.
And you know, trying to take those close range jaws with that AWP, it's just so cruel. You go around that corner, scope, the barrel is so long, it pokes around the corner. They can pre-fire you all day long. And that's what we see right there. Na'Vi, they were looking challenged on their own pick of Dust too. They were looking scared, and they were only just able to take it over the top. Here on Train, it's a breeze. They don't care. It's 8-1. They're on their CT side. They're having fun with this. And it looks like they might be able to make it 9 as they face up against just the pistols. The rifles haven't challenged them all too much. Now it's only Tech 9s to face against them. Shiro going for a bit of a hero AK. With the loss bonus, he can actually justify it. The issue is will he have enough for that Orphan next? We'll have to wait and see. One of his teammates can certainly drop it over to him. Hobbit, I'm looking at you, my friend. 5 seconds left before we get underway with this one, though. And it gets to a point where Na'Vi, they're able to take early rounds, they're able to string them together. That's fantastic. It doesn't mean too much until they get to that 8-9 round point. Now they're there, it starts to get scary. If they can take any more than what they have right now, it's a bonus, and it massively impacts the game.
Gambit with a really limited buy now. A couple of Tech 9s. It might be enough to kill Electronic if they push in numbers. The last time we saw Electronic defend this, it was 2 kills and got away scot-free. There's that Molly, having seen the first few players, but look at the flank ready from Boomich as well. The second he goes up, Bobby's going to see it's clear. There's Simple missing a shot there. Punished by Hobbit actually means that Gambit may have a bit of equity. As Electronic, good for 1, good for 2. Make that 3, their turns to make it 4, but Inters finishes the job. Attempting a bomb plant, cancelled out by Boomich, leaves it all onto Hobbit in a 1 versus 3. And while he was good for 1, the remaining 3, no, he's not. Boomich onto Hobbit, leaves Na'Vi 9-1 up.
2 kills found there from Gambit. You can kind of shrug it off, but with no bomb plant, they don't get any extra money. They've got enough to go for the full investment regardless, but it's 9-1. Best case for these guys, it's a 9-6 half. Now on the T side, that's not bad, but that requires them to win the next 5 in a row. And given their current track record, I'm not sure how confident I am in that one. AWPs on both sides, Shiro with one, Simple with the other. Na'Vi, they don't opt for that double AWP setup. They've got the rifles all round. Those 2 AK-47s as well, looking rather fierce here on the defense. Look at this, Electronic. He's been rock solid on this B bomb site, just getting that early information, calling for the rotates just in the nick of time. And right now, he's doing the same again. This time shouldn't be all too challenged as Boomich aggresses into A main. He's got such a beautiful advanced angle now.
Electronic expects that kill. And so, yeah, instead, Gambit, who found out around the map, expects Boomich to try and take this engagement. Unable to do so yet, though. Enters the man to worry about. And Boomish. This duel with Inters is everything. Gambit, who gets ready to deploy on smoke over in Ivy. Vector boosted up though, there's no way to expect him to be boosted there, and that's an position he'll look to exploit with Boomish deploying the odd bit of util where he can. He does keep him at arm's length. Flash into main, keeps them back, and Gambit with limited utility now, really running it down. Intus eventually finds the kill. Is it traded by Perfecto? Yes it is, good for one. Doesn't see the player under him though, turns around in the nick of time. Calaxel though, leaves us in a 4-on-3, and for Bits is just a kill into Inters. While Gambit finds an opening, Na'Vi finds an exploit. And with Nafany, this shot by Simple, he's able to kill Bits because of it. There's still a man down though, and as Hobbit desperately tries to make some waves over on B, he will be able to get to Connector, but with 15 seconds left, if the bomb falls, that it has, it doesn't matter where Hobbit is, they're out of time.
Well, it's going to go 10-1, and for Hobbit, he doesn't have any money. He'll save this AK, but it's going to massively polarize the economy. If they want to go for a save in the next, he can't be a part of it. I think they're going to have to force around him at this point, as Na'Vi, they really, really do get the mileage out of their CT side. They're extending this lead further and further. And what do Gambit do at this point? We see their fourth and final timeout Premier. They've used every single tactical at this point, and now they've run out of them. And as we see the odds from our partners over at Paramount, 1.06 to 8. They're pretty certain that Na'Vi should be able to close this one out. Of course, if you want to place a bet on this one, maybe you want to make a few pennies off Na'Vi, maybe you fancy Gambit's chances of